Mound. The Cubs, Zambrano and Harden staring at the Mets Wednesday and Thursday. The Amazons understood the importance of not losing a Santana start.
He told me last night, if it's cool, he could go by 225. So I said, I'm gonna wear a sweater out there just to prove it's cool.
All right, so let's just say Santana, he's not on a pitch count, but he was in trouble. Already down 1-0. Reed Johnson, the single on an 0-2 pitch. And it's 2-0 Cubs. Santana in the early hole. Things tightening up at Shea. Bottom 5, Mets still down 2-zip. Runner on first and 1 down. Santana, he was going to bunt, then he's swinging away. The bat and the ball hit off each other. No play for Roddy Cedeno. Goes to single. From the here's something you don't see every day department, how bizarre is that? Sean Marshall said, this is not going to be my night. Later, David Wright with 2 down. Wright snaps an 0 for 11 bases loaded skid with a 2-run game-tying single. Wright, his 5th straight multi-hit game, 4th multi-RBI game in the last 5. Bottom of the 6th, still tied at 2. Ramon Castro, grounder, fielded by Chad Gaudin. He's going to throw it away. Carlos Delgado scores from second, 3-2 Mets. Base loaded by Jose Reyes. Reyes also with some bases loaded problems. 1 for 16 with the bases loaded, his last chances. There he comes through with a 3-run triple. Reyes, the 2nd player in Mets history with a 200-hit season. Top of the 8th. Yeah, Santana's still in there. On his way to 225 pitches, right? Gets Cedeno. Next batter, Derek Lee. We'll see you later. 2 down Santana. Struck out 10. And then Santana gets Casey McGee to ground out. Santana tosses a career-high 125 pitches. Mets win. And there is a heartbeat in Flushing, Queens.
Brewers Pirates, the Crew back home, down a game of the wild card race. 11-1 though against the Buccos this season. 9 wins in a row. Prince Fielder, bottom of the 3rd, strikes out, so still 3-2 in favor of the Buccos. In the 7th, 2 on. Pirates still up 3-2. Mike Cameron doubles to left. 2 will score, and the Brewers take the 4-3 lead. They led in this game 2-0. Blow that lead. Led 4-3. Later in the inning, 2 men in scoring position. 2 out for Prince Fielder. And Mr. Prince just grounds that one into the shift. Cruz will handle that. Fielder 0 for 4 at that point. Top 8, Guillermo Mota. Oh, my goodness. That will make the Chiefs a little more binding. Steve Pearce homers. The Pirates take back the lead 5-4. Bottom 8, 2 out, 1 on. Jason Kendall, clutch spot. Hits it to right, over Pierce's head. J.J. Hardy rambling home from second. The Brewers tie the game at 5 to set things up in the 9th. 5-5. Fielder. Kids, remember, carrot sticks give you muscles.
Swing of the drive, right center and deep. Get up! Get out of here! Gone for Fielder! He just hit a walk-off, and this one is over.
Bob Uecker calling Fielder's 34th homer, his 100th RBI. Unbelievable. Untuck him. Brewers win 7-5. Prince large in many ways.
Be in cruise control on their way to the division flag. I mean, after all, they're 14-2 this season against the Braves. And then, wait a second, tied at 1. Cole Hamels has Kelly Johnson picked off trying to steal 3rd, but Hamels throws it away. Johnson scores. Error on Hamels. 2-1 Braves. Bottom of the 3rd. Here's Pat Burrell. Bases loaded and 2 down. Still trailing by a run, and Burrell's going to pop it up. Watch Martin Prado make the nice catch over the railing of the dugout. So the Phillies with a golden opportunity, and one of the guys they want up at the plate and can't bring anybody across. Still 2-1 at the top of the 6th. Casey Kochman. Different kind of error for Hamels. Get out of town. Kochman 4 for 9, 3 jacks career against Cole. Bottom of the 6th. Here's Pat Burrell and a chance to do some business with a man on, and this time they'll get him in. Burrell is going to double off the wall, scores Ryan Howard, and the Phillies cut the lead to 3-2. Bottom 9, still 3-2. Carlos Ruiz with a man on and 1 out. Mike Gonzalez gets Ruiz to ground into the game-ending double play. Braves never beat the Phillies, except for Tuesday night. Phillies' magic number for the division title remains at 4.
This week, Ozzie Guillen had this to say about Javier Vasquez. He said he wasn't a big-game pitcher. Went on to say, be aggressive. Throw the ball over the plate, knock somebody on their butt. It's a big 3 games for us. You have to be mean. So how would Javi respond to this, right? Bottom second, Chicago up 1-zip. Vasquez walks Justin Morneau on 4 pitches and then leaves the pitch out over the plate for Jason Kubel. Maybe a little too much of the plate there. 2-run shot, his 19th. Twins grab the early 2-1 lead into the 4th. Same numbers. Vasquez again. Mistake the coup. Oh, look. Freeze it. Belts it deep to center. Ken Griffey Jr. dives. Cannot make the catch. Cannot hurt himself, which is good. Kubel into 3rd with a leadoff triple. Later in the frame, 3-1 now. Runner still at 3rd. Nick Punto drops the bunt down. Very nice. Terrific execution on the squeeze. Delman Young scores. And Punto safe to boot. Twins up 4-1. He advances to 2nd, and your next batter up. Carlos Gomez working against Vasquez. Are you a big game pitcher right now? Not again. Wow, Minnesota's blown this thing wide open. 5-1. Vasquez goes 4 innings, 7 hits, 5 runs. So much for Ozzy's motivational speech there. Bottom 5, same numbers. Clayton Richard now pitching. Maybe Ozzy pumped him up. Guess not. Justin Morneau. That's into the baggies. 129 RBIs now. Twins lead 6-1. That leads the American League. In the 7th, Alexi Ramirez. Yeah, everybody just keep pounding it. Scott Baker, though, gets his glove on it. Baker 7 innings pitched, 5 hits, 1 run. Now, in the 9th, Ken Griffey Jr. in a 9-1 game. Meaningless homer for the game, but not historically. 610 sole possession of 5th place in baseball's career list. Twins win 9-3.
Red Sox magic number still stuck on 1, looking to clinch a playoff spot with a win over the Tribe, although Cliff Lee, the Cy Young hopeful or Cy Young lock, was dealing. He's going to become the first pitcher since Barry Zito 6 years ago to win 23 games. He had a lead, and then he didn't. Dustin Pedroia, a 2-run double in the bottom of the 5th. Sox tie the game at 4. 2 on, 2 out. We're still in the bottom of the 4th. Jason Bay, he's going to go up the middle, gets past the diving Johnny Peralta. Pedroia scores. Boston up 5-4. Top of the 7th, base loaded, 2 down. Hideki Okajima on a full count pitch to Victor Martinez, and gets him to foul out. Sox hang on to that 5-4 lead. Top 8, bases loaded, 2 down. Here's Jonathan Papelbon facing Jamie Carroll, and his first pitch gets Carroll the ground out to Pedroia. Lee was going to get his first loss since July 6th. Top of the 9th, no on and 2 outs. Papelbon gets Victor Martinez to pop out. The Sox hang on to win 5-4 and clinch a spot in the playoffs. Or did they just win the World Series? It's tough to tell. Dustin Pedroia had his major league leading 208th hit. His team's a hit. Help the Diamondbacks cause. Arizona taking on the Cardinals. Big spot for the big unit. Randy Johnson, his 7th attempt at career win 295. 7th attempt. Not off to a great start. Albert Pujols in the bottom of the 1st scores Cesar Izturis. Cards a 1-0 lead. Ryan Ludwig gets all of it. His 35th of the season. He's the first Cardinals outfielder to have 35 jacks in the season since Jim Edmonds 4 years ago. The Cards a 4-0 lead all off the unit. Bottom 5th, a little tighter, 4-2, runner on 2nd and 2 down. And Felipe Lopez lines one in the left center for a hit. Kyle Osh is going to score. Johnson, 6 innings, 7 hits, 5 earned, a strikeout. He gets the loss. The 295th win, always the toughest one to get. Kyle Osh won, by the way. Lost 6 of 8 since. Still only 3.5 back of the wild card as the Reds visited Houston. Joey Votto, the Reds leading 2-1 on the top of the 7th. Hits the Chris Sampson pitch to right. Did it go off the top of the wall or not? Reds want a review. Umpires talk it over. Yeah, let's go to the instant replay. So take another look. You can see the ball goes off the top of the wall. Ruled a single. Dusty doesn't care about the instant replay. The instant replay lies. Bottom of the 7th. Edison Volquez gets Ty Wigington. Volquez 7 1/3, 1 earned, 9 strikeouts. The Astros just can't catch a break.
Rays, Orioles, Tampa Bay closing in on the division title. They're magic number 4, but you know what? 93 wins, all of them magic. First 2 here, James Shields. Lou Montanez, home run deep. Oh, boy, 3-run. 3rd homer, of the year. Orioles take the 2-zip lead. Later in the inning, same numbers, 2 on, 2 out for Adam Jones. And Shields gets him looking. That was a good pitch. It's strike 3. Bottom 5, we're tied at 2. Aubrey Lewis Huff, you get in this house right now. 4-6-3 double play. Shields, 7 innings pitched, 8 hits, 2 earned. So we're still tied at 2 in the 6th. Jason Bartlett down the left field line, bringing in Deanna Navarro. Ben Zobrist coming home. Ben, get there, Ben. No, didn't need it, though. 5-2 Rays win. Shields ties franchise record, 14th win of the season.
All right, so the Rays' magic number was 3.
Yep.
It's the AL East heading into their nightcap. Look at that. The Rays have never won a doubleheader. Rays down 5-2. Looks like they're not going to win again until Evan Longoria get out of town. And it's 5-3. Still in the 8th. 5-4. Jamie Walker looking to get out of the jam, and I don't think so. Deanna Navarro up the middle. In a center, Gabe Gross and Jason Bartlett both score. The Rays win. First time in franchise history, they sweep.
Sports Center's top plays, number 10, Fred. I defer.
No. Number 10 is you, buddy.
Yeah, but it's Melrose. Rangers, Lightning, Steven Stamkos, number 1 pick overall.
That's right.
2008, look at that. Lightning won, of course, we knew they would.
Barry clearly seeing these good suits for the regular season. Geraldo Tirado of Cruz Azul. See him cross the defender and slip it under the crossbar. Cruz Azul, they cruise, win 4-0.
Or maybe the playoffs. Number 8, game 1.
Playoff.
Rays, Orioles. Luis Montanez grounds the third. Evan Longoria, nice backhanded pick. Good.
1-9-3.
Number 6, Diamondbacks, Cardinals. David Exnight, former Cardinal, grounds to second. Felipe Lopez. Nice work there. Cards win 7-4, damaging to the Snakes.
Number 5, the Carling Cup Man U and Middlesbrough. Ryan Giggs, corner kick, and Cristiano Ronaldo puts it in with a header. Bang! Man U a winner, 3-1.
Number 4, Marlins Nationals. Let's just have Hanley Ramirez wash over us. Oh, nice. Marlins lost 9-4, but Ramirez.
Who hit that to Hanley
That
anyway?
guy's unbelievable. Chiron Martis.
Yes, he did.
Why you gotta be like that?
Didn't think you were going to go there. Yankees, Blue Jays. Marco Scudero lines on the right center. Brett Gardner gets it to Robinson Cano. Throws to Alex Rodriguez. Nails him at third. Yankees won 3-1. Chiron Martis.
Not pictured in that one.
Wild night at Shea for the NL wildcard leaders. The Mets locked in and focused prior to the game. Whoops! David Wright takes a spill, and Jose Reyes, his teammate, giving it to him. So the Mets look loose. They were trailing 1-0 in the bottom of the third. That took care of that looseness. Bases loaded for David Wright. Carlos Zambrano walks him. Who's Zambrano angry at? Doesn't look like he's angry at himself. Looks like he's angry at Blue behind home plate. And scored Oliver Perez, tied the game. Zambrano going to miss on the 2-2 pitch. All right, who's he angry with now? Himself or the umpire? Derek Lee trying to calm him down. You know, Zambrano has let his emotions get the best of him in the past. Here's Delgado on a 3-2 get out of town, and he means it. Grand slam time. And the Mets a 5-1 lead. Top of the 5th. Cubs on the comeback. Now trailing 5-3. Second and third. Reed Johnson to left. Now Daniel Murphy misplays it. Aramis Ramirez and Kosuke Fukudome score. Tied at 5. And, well, Met fans and Cub fans living, working, and playing together. A lot of love in the building. You know, the building, they're going to close the building soon. Top of the 7th, tied at 5. First and second, Alfonso Soriano down the left field line. Ronnie Cedeno scores. Cubs a 6-5 lead. Still 6-5. Mets have the bases loaded and 2 out. Jeff Samardzija walks Ramon Martinez, and Carlos Delgado scores. Tied at 6. Whole lot of hope back in the building. Bottom 9.
Who's closing it?
6s, that's what I hear. Runner on third, nobody out. Only it's a sac fly from David Wright. Not exactly. Bobby Howard strikes him out, 1 down. 2 intentional walks later. Ryan Church grounded to second. Cedeno thrown home, gets Daniel Murphy at the plate. 2 down, and then, oh yeah, Howard strikes out Ramon Castro swinging. Mets stranded 7 runners in the 7th through 9th innings. So we go to the 10th. Runner on second and 2 down, and Derek Lee pops one into right. Ryan Terrio scores. The Cubs a 7-6 lead. The very next batter is Aramis Ramirez off Luis Ayala. And you get the idea. If it's fair, it's gone. And I don't see a foul pull. Met fans rather upset as they head for the exits. You know, the Mets, if they can only pitch Santana every single night. New York, losers of 4 of their last 5.
Milwaukee then, 9th inning walk-off winner over Pittsburgh Tuesday. Crew Bucks again Wednesday. They can get even. Top first, CC Sabathia. Second straight start on 3 days rest, and he's in a bit of a bind. Their bases are chucked. Adam LaRoche. Woo, cutter on the outside corner. 2 we got. Next batter, Steve Pearce. Sabathia, as good as he was when he came over, has lost his last 2 decisions. Hasn't won in September. 28 pitches thrown and getting out of the first inning. In the third, Jason Michaels up. Man on, 2 out. He delivers. Nigel Morgan scores. So Sabathia down 1-0. And through 3 innings had thrown 55 pitches. Bottom 4, Prince Fielder. How's your hero? All right, sometimes you hit him far, sometimes single up the middle will score Mike Cameron. That's good too. Fielder, 14-game hit streak. 20th RBI in the last 17 games. We are tied at 1. Still in the 4th. Ricky Weeks up, bases loaded. Brewer fans on their seats, on their feet, waving the white hankies. I don't think they were surrendering. Mahala, that is ball 4. Run scores. Next batter, Jason Kendall. Another walk. Another run forced in. 3-1 Brewers. They draw 9 walks in the game. Walks as good as a hit. That's what my coach told me in Little League. They never let me swing. Sabathia over 100 pitches in the 7th. 4-1 lead gets Jack Wilson. He'd throw 7, allow 1 run, 108 pitches, 11 Ks in line for his 10th win. And Solomon Torres, there you go, strikes out Andy LaRoche. Brewers win 4-2 on just 2 hits. Cheddar is better.
My Braves and Phils, they cleared the benches, but that's not the reason to watch this highlight. Phil's match number to clinch the NL East was 4 going into the night. Of course, you saw the Mets already lost. Chase Utley's going to lose 1. That's his 33rd home run of the season, career high off JoJo Reyes. Bottom of the 4th, Ryan Howard off Reyes. Get out of town. His league-leading 47th. That's how many he hit last season. Reyes, by the way, about to be winless in his last 13 starts. Top of the 5th, we're tied at 3 off. Brian McCann lines 1 into right. Jason Worth gives you the effort and comes up short. Martin Prado scores. Prado, by the way, had his 6th 3-hit game of the season. 2 batters later, Omar Infante grounds 1 to first. Howard the field to throw off of Casey Kochman's back. Inner center, McCann scores his 5-3. It's 6-3. Here's Chipper, pinch hitting in the pitcher spot. Charlie Manuel takes Brett Myers out, replaces him with Scott Air, and Chipper doesn't care. That's Chipper's 41st career home run against the Phillies, the most for him against any opponent. And I thought he just tortured the Mets. Bottom of the 8th, here's where it gets a little nutty. Hey, it's Julian Tavares. Runs over to try to pick off Shane Victorino leading off 3rd. Then as Tavares walks away, a little stare down. Tavares is back on the mound, start barking at each other. And Tavares heading for 3rd. Bench is clear. Both players had to be restrained. No punches thrown. In fact, if the ball game was a fight, I guess you have to say the Braves won it rather easily, 10-4.
So here's how things shake out in the NL race. Phillies still have a game-and-a-half lead on the Mets, 1 in the loss column.
Here's the AL Central. Twins just a game-and-a-half back in the White Sox as they meet in Game 2 of their critical 3-game series in Mini with Nick Blackburn. You could say he's struggled his last 2 starts. Anytime your ERA is over 20, you could say that. Alexei Ramirez base hit. A.J. Brzezinski, he goes to center. Juan Uribe back to Blackburn. Can't come up with it. Loads him up. It was in the top of the 2nd. In a 1-1 game, Dwayne Wise goes down. Swing Blackburn's first strikeout of the game. Gets him out of a jam. Bottom of the 2nd, Mark Burley trying to catch Carlos Gomez off 2nd. The umpire, Andy Fletcher, said he got back in there safe. Check it again. What do you think? It's a good blockage of second base. Probably should have been out. That's just not me saying that. That's what Ozzie Gann is saying. Expletive deleted, of course. After a walk, base loaded with Gomez on 3rd. Joe Mauer grabs Cabrera. Casilla out at 2nd. Mauer beats the throw. Gomez scores. Twins a 3-1 lead. Ken Griffey Jr. say bye to career home run 611. And things tightening up. It's a 3-2 game. Joe Nathan, 6 blown saves this season. That's a career high for him. Off Brzezinski. He's going to put a shot in the left center. Carlos Gomez. Nice running grab. So there's 2 down. And then 2 batters later, there's Wise. And ground to Casilla on the carpet. Nathan does get his 39th save of the year. The Twins are winner. Can you say down a half a game? And Joe wouldn't need the goggles because he's got the glasses.
Got my glasses.
Bases loaded. Luke Scott going to line 1 to the center and clear the bases. Scott makes the first out of the inning, trying to stretch it into a triple 3-run score. So the Orioles had a 5-0 lead. But these are the Tampa Bay Rays. Jason Bartlett lines it off the pitcher. 2 runs are going to score on the single, and error would turn into a 5-run inning. Baltimore's lead is 6-5. Runners in the corners. Aubrey Huff steals second. Nick Markakis coming home. Akinori Iwamura nails him at the plate. Orioles would not score in the inning. They were about to lose their 9th straight. Rays at first and second when Iwamura lines one down the right field line. 2 score. Rays battle back from a 6-run deficit. The Rays score 11 unanswered. I don't think they're going away.
No, I think they'll be there all season long. The champagne-drenched Red Sox facing the Indians a day after clinching a postseason spot, which appears to be the wild card spot. Paul Bird, perhaps maybe in line for a 4th starter in the playoffs against his old team. Jamie Carroll hits one into right field. J.D. Drew bobbles that one. Carroll goes to third. E9 Drew, first game back after missing 33 games with injury, maybe just sort of pull nerves out there. Shin Soo Choo chops from the first. Mark Kotze bobbles it. A lot of bobbles, not enough trinkets. 4-2 Red Sox. Bird 5 innings pitched, 4 earned. Top 8, score tied at 4. Sox defense looking better. There you go. Dustin Pedroia showing it how it's done. Travis Hafner robbed by the better glove work there. Bottom 8, same score. Runner on third. Kotze atoning for his error. Lines one down the first baseline. Jeff Bailey will score. It's 5-4 Red Sox, and they're going to win it by, well, there you see, 5-4. So, all right, Diamondbacks, Cardinals, Redbirds damage the D-backs division hopes for the win. Tuesday, Mark Reynolds, 1 strikeout shy of the single-season strikeout record. There it is, 199. But you know what? You got Jack Cust at 192, Ryan Howard 196. You know what? He got work to do if he's going to get this thing with his name all over it. St. Louis native Max Scherzer on the mound for the D-backs. First career start at Busch Stadium. He's a hometowner, right? Adam Wainwright bunts towards the pitcher. Scherzer throws to first. That ball gets away. 2 runners score. Throwing error on the pitcher. 2-0 St. Louis. Let's talk to Dad. Brad, what's up with Max?
Make a better throw to first base. Keep your hand on, throw it on top. You hit the ball on the side. I taught you when you were a young guy to grab that ball with all 4 fingers.
Where was the Mizzou pride in that? Top 6, D-backs down 4-2, chance to take the lead. The bases are chucked. 2 out. Chris Young grounds into the fielder's choice. D-backs leave bases loaded 2 consecutive innings. Number 8. White Sox Twins. Orlando Cabrera, grounder to third. Brendan Harris makes a great diving stop. That's the first part. Throws it across the diamond. That's the second part. Another look at the play, and you'll see that Cabrera will be out once again. Oh, the Twinkies closing.
Number 7, Diamondbacks Cardinals, Adam Kennedy. Lines in the left for a base hit. Connor Jackson fielding it and firing. If you're calling for Skip Shoemaker, leave a message at the beep. He'll call you when he gets home. Wow, look at the great throw by Jackson.
3-2.
Number 5, Marlins Nationals, Elijah Dukes. Chopper to third, Jorge Cantu. Exactly, who needs the glove? A nice bare-handed play. More from this game coming up short.
I had a barehander first. I don't know why you're copying me. Number 4, Braves Phillies. Brian McCann down the line. That takes an odd carom. Ball girl gets out of the way. Jason Worth fields. And then poor Martin Prado at the plate. Wow. What does it leave a number, beep? I'm
leave
home.
A message at the beep. You know, it's like an answer.
I'll be home. Okay.
Reds and Astros at number 3.
Oh, hit well to right field. Bruce at the wall leaping, and Jay Bruce snags it. Wow. Tremendous catch by Jay Bruce, leaping at the right field wall.
Number 2, Steve, stay there. I will handle the soccer. Real Madrid's Rafael van der Vaart. Look at the great no-look back heel flick. Oh, yeah, that's nice. You know, I got to coach a soccer team next Tuesday.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, the kids. Real Madrid wins 7-1, and I'm Tommy Smith with Hawaii.
At number 1.
That comes after 2.
Jorge Cantu. Remember he made the nice barehanded play before?
Yeah.
Well, this time he hit the ball at Roger Bernardina. I would say there's no argument about the top play.
None.
This particular night.
Number
Freeze
1.
it, frame it. Speaking of which, here's Jay Harris. What, you expect me to be able to do a highlight after that? Huh? Angels and Mariners. Mike Soch and the Angels trying to stay ahead of the Rays for the best record in the American League. Mark Teixeira goes deep, 33rd of the season, 13th with the Angels. They had a 6-5 lead. Bottom of the 9th, here's Francisco Rodriguez. I like to call him K-Rod. That's his 62nd save of the season, making it that much tougher for the next guy trying to chase him. For the Mariners, look at that record for Seattle.